So I got a Netduma R2 a few weeks ago. I wanted to show you the features and how some of the things work. So most of you are probably here because you play Warzone and you want to know how to get consistent bronze lobbies. I'm not going to waste your time. If you're looking for consistent bronze lobbies, this is not it. What it will do is help you circumvent SBMM or skill-based matchmaking. I'm not going to go into too much about the Netduma or how to set it up because if you do decide to purchase one, then it'll come with all the instructions. The only thing that I will mention is if you do purchase one on setup, you should plug the router directly into whatever PC you're going to use to set it up. Because if you try to just connect to Wi-Fi and start setting it up from there, it starts to have some errors sometimes. We're not going to go too in-depth into Netduma in general. We're just going to cover how this can help you gaming-wise. So first we'll discuss how skill-based matchmaking works. The best theory I've heard of how Activision's skill-based matchmaking may work is from a JackFrags video. And if I remember correctly, it basically comes down to first it prioritizes the skill base. So it tries to find a server with people of your similar skill base, or if you're in a team, it averages out the skill base of the players and tries to find a server that matches the skill base of other players. Next, it starts looking for servers closer to you, and if you notice in the loading screen, you'll see less than like 50 millisecond. That's your ping, obviously. And it slowly increases. I think Activision tries to keep you under 100 ping or maybe 120. Now, the last piece is time and queue. It doesn't want you to sit there all day waiting for a server of people of your similar skill level. So at some point, it'll just throw you into whatever server becomes available. In theory, this is how some high KD streamers are getting into some of these bronze lobbies because there's not that many people on their skill based. And considering the time of day that they usually play during, they don't have a lot of full servers anyways, so they can't sit in a queue all day. So eventually they'll get thrown into one, which would explain why some get bronze lobbies maybe a little too often. You can go check out the JackFrags video for his explanation of how the skill-based matchmaking works. So I'm not going to go into any more of that. What we're going to discuss is how the Netduma can get you around that. Now you'll notice there's a little spinning area. So I can change where I want to be, and I do so by just clicking this, and then let's say I want to set over here. It'll apply settings, and here's my little ring. And I can sit here then and adjust my distance, applies the settings, or I can just type it in manually. I don't want a server greater than 1,000 kilometers, let's say, so I do that, and there's my distance. Now, you can only play in servers that are in your region. Like I said, Activision will just keep kicking you out of the servers if you're in Warzone. So if you want to play outside your region, you'll have to have a VPN. And once your VPN's turned on, then you can set it to wherever you want to be, and then you can set your ring inside that area. So how this works is when you start to queue into a match, on this, you will see this little symbol pop up somewhere, and they're all servers. So maybe it might pop up multiple ones, but it'll try to show you which server is trying to put you in. That's where this comes into place. Once you have this enabled, you turn the filtering mode on, and then if it tries to bring you outside of a server that's not in your little ring, then it'll kick you out of the queue and restart the queue. This is how you can get around skill-based matchmaking when we go back to how queue time plays in. At some point, it'll just give up and put you in whatever server you're trying to get into. So if there's multiple servers in here, it'll put you in one of these. But if you decrease this to the point that there's only one server or maybe two servers in your ring, at some point, it'll somewhat ignore the skill-based matchmaking and just throw you into a server. From what I found, it throws you into a server with either people on your skill-based level or below. Okay, here's the other way you can use the Netduma. You can do it through ping assist, in which case, instead of filtering by distance, you're filtering by ping. The way this becomes an advantage is because since you're getting put into a match with people of your skill base, or maybe even slightly lower, you have the ping advantage on them. So you're getting information quicker than what some of the other players are. Now you may be wondering, if you're getting put in servers at your skill base or lower and you have a ping advantage, why would you want to use a VPN to go anywhere else? This is when the sweat o'clock comes in. Typically in your local region, during the hours of around 7 p.m. to 12 a.m., there's more of a player base available because most people have normal daytime jobs. So everybody's available in the afternoons. But then that gives you a wide variety of people you can be put into servers with. Just because you're getting that close server, sure, you'll have ping advantage, but there's a big pool of players to choose from. So you might notice that you're getting put into a bunch of sweat lobbies, even with it on. This is when the VPN can come into effect. Let's say you're in North America, and around sweat o'clock would be earlier hours or midday hours of, say, Europe. So what you do is you click your VPN on, you click an area, you get into certain servers over here. And the other theory is that skill-based matchmaking all helps balance out. So Activision takes your ping into account when it's matchmaking you. So what I've found is it seems to try to give you a lobby that is slightly lower than your skill advantage to help balance out your ping. Now, I've played in a handful of servers and regions now, and I found that I can be fairly consistent. So if you're a decent player and you're just getting stuck in the sweat hours, you can go to a different region that might not be in your sweat hours, locate it down to 1 or 2 servers, and then usually you'll get people probably a little below your skill level. And you'll notice that you'll do just fine in those servers. Now this is where your hardware may come into play as well. When I first started using this, I was on an Xbox. Xboxes don't really handle Warzone that well. Warzone isn't the greatest optimized game. So if you're on a higher end PC or something, or maybe even a mid-level PC, you're not going to notice that much of a difference in your gameplay, even playing on some of these 120, 130, 140 ping servers. Now, pair that with being put into a server that's a little below your skill base, and you'll notice that you'll probably be playing as if you would in any other normal server that's not a sweaty server. So to summarize, is this going to get you consistent bronze lobbies? Absolutely not. But it can help you circumvent skill-based matchmaking to an extent. This won't always be the case. Even if you narrow yourself down into one of these servers that's local to you, there's still going to be a chance that you get put in just a normal sweat lobby of people of your skill base, or maybe even a little bit, higher depending on how your last few rounds went. But again, that's where the VPN comes in. If you're stuck in the sweat hours, then you can just go to one of these other regions, and then you can play in their non-sweat hours. Now you're playing with people who are a little below your skill level. And sure, you have to overcome the ping, but again, if you have the hardware, you probably won't notice much of a difference anyways. I don't think there's anything wrong with using a VPN, except when it comes to tournaments. Right now, the fairest format in Warzone is the 2v2 kill race. I personally believe that this would be kind of cheating if, let's say you're in a tournament for one of the trio kill races where you get X amount of hours for best of 5 games. If somebody's using a VPN, then they're going to have the advantage because their whole squad can get the best ping available, can help circumvent that skill-based matchmaking, and they're going to have an advantage against other teams who are just doing it normally. But outside of that, I don't think there's anything wrong with using this. I rarely even use mine half the time anymore. Again, I only really use mine just to get out of those sweat o'clock hours. If I notice that the skill-based matchmaking is starting to clamp down pretty hard, or if I just want to try other regions just to change it up a bit. If you found this video helpful in any way, then please like and subscribe, and feel free to check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.